Well, I got a serious problem here. Alright, today I'm going to Mt Diablo. Alright, so Mt Diablo is the most prominent mountain in the Bay Area. And it's located in the coastal range of the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area. And it is a twin-peaked mountain. The taller of the two peaks is 3,800 and something feet. And then the slightly shorter other peak is 3,500 and something feet. You can actually drive to the top of the taller peak. They have a little observation deck and a little parking lot at the top. And it costs $10 per vehicle to get into the park. And so the plan today is I'm going to take Northgate Road from the north, because I live up in the North Bay. I think that's one of 3 ways to get into Mt Diablo State Park. I'm going to take the road up the mountain. I'm going to drive all the way to the top, to the summit. I'm going to take in the views a bit, get some pictures and get a little bit of video from the top. And then from there, I plan to drive back down just a little bit to the nearest trailhead. I want to take a trail that goes between the West Peak and the East Peak. And I think the journey from the West Peak to the East Peak, that hike is like maybe 1.5 miles or so each way. I've been up on Mt Diablo once before when I was a kid. My parents took me up there, but I've never hiked it, so this is a new adventure for me. All right, I better get going then. You gonna miss me? I'm gonna be gone a while. I am. I'm gonna be gone a while. Be a good kitty. Alright, see you later. I'm on my way. I got sunscreen on. I'm prepared for this, for whatever hiking I'm doing today. Yeah, my face looks a little greasy. This sunscreen really does a number on that. Seeing Mt Diablo appear to get bigger and bigger as I draw closer, my excitement for today's hike gets stronger. Okay, we are getting closer. In just a little while, we'll be there. To get there, I'm driving through the city of Walnut Creek. Just a few more turns and we'll be at the foothills of Mt Diablo. Mt Diablo is looming in front of me. Getting closer to it. I'm now officially in the state park. I paid my $10 fee. The gal was really nice. Super helpful. She gave me a nice map. She had an even more detailed map of the hiking trails. Like there's a specific trail that I'm interested in that on the brochure isn't entirely clear, but she let me take a picture of it with my phone. Just super nice. So far my experience is really good. Now it's about a half-hour drive on this windy road to the top. With the very low speed limits and all the twists and turns, it takes a while to reach the top, but the scenery and views along the way are spectacular. Drawing near to the top, the vegetation changes dramatically from grassland and oaks to a more chaparral scene. And finally, I reached the summit. Alright, we're here. Just gonna park. Alright, well, I made it to the top. It's not quite as windy as I was expecting it to be. It's a little breezy up here, but it's actually way windier down lower. As you can see, the view is absolutely spectacular. One little problem though, the top of this mountain is actually just touching the bottom of the clouds that are going by. So The clouds, the bottoms of the clouds here are actually kind of obstructing the view a little bit. A little disappointed about that, but not a big deal. I'll get better shots of the views when I'm heading down the mountain a little bit, and I get kind of underneath this shelf of clouds. And it's pretty chilly up here. It's about 46 degrees. As you would expect, with a rise of elevation, it gets cooler. So let's take a look and see what kind of views we got. All right, that's looking west, and everything's a little washed out, but look at that. Look at that view. I'm panning to the south. You can see Walnut Creek down there, the city of Walnut Creek. Normally you'd be able to see San Francisco from up here, but as you can see, if I pan out, those clouds, the bottom of those clouds are just in the way enough that we cannot see San Francisco. I'm gonna have to get that a little later on after my hike as I'm heading off the mountain. Now to our south, we have, you can see Livermore Valley down there. And then if we pan to the left a little, you'll see the windmills. I'm blanking out on the name of the pass. Highway 580 goes past Livermore. The name I was trying to remember is Altamont Pass tunnel, but goes through the windmill. Anyway, you can see the windmills in the distance. Right over there is the North Peak. That's where I'm going to be hiking in a bit here. Off in the distance you can see the Central Valley. Normally you can see the Sierra Nevada from up here, but the air is just not quite clear enough to see it. But you can see the windmills. A forest of windmills in the distance. Look at that. And to our north you can see Concord. Beyond. And here at the top they also have a visitor center. Okay, off I go. These are just amazing. I think I'm supposed to go down to that trail and then take it over and around. According to my map, it looks like the right one. Okay, I'm now on the North Peak Trail. I could probably spend years exploring every trail that Mt Diablo State Park has to offer. I mean, what I'm doing today is just the tip of the iceberg of what there is to see and explore here. This is just a little tiny piece of it. And I do plan on returning and exploring the other trails in the future. Continuing on the North Peak Road Trail, I'm blown away by these amazing views. Alright, I'm descending down into the crotch of the mountain. And that trail right there is the one I'm going to take to the North Peak. The clouds are also starting to part and dissipate, which is great. Get some sun and get some better views. Hope the air clears out so I can get some better panoramas from the top. Alright guys, now I'm about to begin the journey up the other peak. It is extremely windy. It just about blew my camera over. Oh, there it goes. Oh, yeah, it's so windy up here. Because I'm in the here, I gotta keep my foot on the camera, on the tripod. So it's so windy here because I'm in that V-shaped gap between the peaks, and it just funnels the wind right through it. It's just crazy windy, absolutely crazy windy. This was by far the most wind I've ever experienced during a hike. I'm drawing near to the North Peak. You can see it right there. I don't know why they call it North Peak, because it's technically more east in relation to the other peak than it is north. So I think I just always thought of it as a east peak, not the North Peak. But view once again is spectacular. Right now I'm sheltered from that intense wind. There's a berm on my left blocking the wind, but that was quite literally the strongest wind I've ever hiked in. Almost to the top. That road right there is very steep. And finally, I've reached the North Peak. Okay, these are the stairs to the top of the North Peak. And the view! Well, I got a serious problem here. I'm at the top, or was at the top. I'm now heading back. I've got a little wrinkle on the inside of my boot. You can't really see it, but it's there. You can kind of see there, kind of with the shadow here, you can kind of see it a little bit. And it's pressing on my outer toe. So every time I take a step, it hurts like crazy. And I got 1.5 miles to walk back. I gotta hike down the mountain, back up the other side. I may actually have to hike back wearing my socks. So I'll just take both my boots off and try hiking back without any boots. These little rocks are pretty sharp, but it's not too bad, actually, doing this in my socks. As I'm leaving the mountain for home, I stopped to take in the views one last time. Alright, now we can finally see where San Francisco would be. Well, it's kind of washed out. The light. San Francisco's right over there. You probably can barely see it. And I am now headed home. Long drive back. About 1 hour, 45 minutes if traffic's light. And still treated to more of these spectacular views. Did you miss me? Look at you all curled up. Well, that was a really neat hike. And I'm definitely going to do it again. I loved it. It was great. It was one of the more spectacular places I've hiked. The drive up's a little long. That can get a little tedious, you know, doing the twisty turns all the way up, but in the end it's worth it, and there's so many more trails to do, so I've got a lot more ahead of me to explore there, and that's what I intend to do. So I had a little bit of camera issues on the hike, which is why I've actually ordered a new camera, and it should be arriving hopefully soon, so I can vlog with the more updated camera and just something that doesn't have a lot of things wrong with it like this one does. So that's it. We'll see you guys next time.